see the room is quite filled with persons who I assume will have their devices along with them. And we see a show of hands of those here who have a smartphone. For argument's sake, I would love BlackBerries to enter the career. So, this is not as much perspective of what is included. I mean, every day I go into meetings with clients, consultations, I go into offices, especially yesterday. There was a room with 3 directors of a very large company, and each one of them had a different cell phone. It was kind of awkward because they were all funded. One had the BlackBerry Gold, the 9900s, touchscreen BlackBerry. Another gentleman had the Samsung Galaxy Note. That's the extremely large one with the 5.5-inch screen, like a flat screen TV in my pocket. And another gentleman here, he had the Samsung Galaxy S3. A bit smaller, but still quite large for a smartphone. And what I found was that these guys were using these, what should be considered microcomputing devices, as just phones. Answering calls, sending text messages, and that was it. And in this meeting with these gentlemen going through the process, I was hearing them making minor complaints about inefficiencies in their day-to-day, maybe scheduling or keeping track of employees, communicating with people, simple things like even invoicing. These are things that the technology that we have in our pockets, even the BlackBerry users, could take us to a level that we can ascend. I always like to say that technology is here for our lives to make it easier, not to replace us. There's the progression of humanity through the advancement of technology. So the better technology becomes, the more we're able to progress as human beings, and the easier our lives should become. So some simple scenarios. There's this business. They wanted to be set up so they can be more efficient. They have essentially salespersons on the road every day. Right? And they keep their invoices via the traditional invoice books, the triplicate books. And it was getting a bit messy. Some stuff was being lost. Somebody spilled something on their book. And all the ink ran and you couldn't read anything. Everything was gone. And there was a lot of inefficiencies in terms of waiting for persons to come back in. Some individuals didn't get back into the office before the office shut, so the books weren't done for that day. It's kind of awkward in a sense. They wanted to know how technology could help them improve their offering. And essentially, it wasn't a hard fit because they already had smartphones. The majority of them had either iPhones or Android phones. It was a simple integration of an app. The app allowed them to produce their invoices, receipts, estimates on the road. And they also sync back with the office. So as they're creating an invoice or generating an estimate, the desktop at the office would update at the same time. So there's no need for one of them to come back to the office and say, well, hey, yeah, office shut, I didn't get to bring my stuff in, or I kind of messed up my book. Everything was done instantly and digitally, and essentially it made our business more efficient, saving both time and money. And that was just a simple example of how technology could be used to simplify a simple process. Now, the thing about the phones, there's so many out there. Even if you say you're a BlackBerry person, or you're an iPhone person, or an Android person, within those individual groups, there's so many devices. I mean, I don't think we could find 20 people in this room with the exact same phone. There is so many phones out there, so diverse. And people are always tasked with the question, which smartphone is best for me? Which one is the one that I should get? People usually tend to the brands, Galaxy, the iPhone. These are usually what you hear. I personally have a Google Nexus 4. But every person that sees my phone asks me if it's an iPhone or it's a Galaxy. But I mean, there's so many other phones and manufacturers that I don't see why we should limit our preferences to just particular brands. When people see me with the iPad, they see me with the MacBook, and they automatically assume, you're an Apple person. Oh, no, I have no brand loyalty. None. They don't pay me, I pay them. I essentially give them money to enhance my life. So therefore, the company who offers me the best product for my money will receive it. So I may have 2 Apple products, but I also have a Google product here as well. It may not be the best ecosystem or best integrated, but it allows me to get what I want from my devices. And in that regard, you get what you want. A person that's just simply looking to make phone calls back and forth, answer a few messages, but there may be a bit of a struggle bug. They like to take a lot of pictures. You may just look for a phone that has a very decent camera. You may not necessarily go by the iPhone because the iPhone is rated the best phone, or you may not get the Galaxy because that's the most popular. You get your device that caters to your needs, and your needs may vary far away. You may be a person that wants to communicate with family in the overseas and they use a lot of Apple products, then it's probably best to get an iPhone at that point because FaceTime works miraculously with all Apple stuff. Or you could just be a person that uses a lot of Google stuff. Me, I am deeply embedded in Google's ecosystem. I use Gmail, I use Google Drive, I use every service they have to offer. So for me, an Android phone that's just deeply seated in Google's operating system allows me to access all of my content, my information, wherever I go. And there's a term we always hear on the cloud. Have any of you heard that term before? I represent technology. Everyone asks yourself, what is this cloud thing that you were talking about? No, essentially, the cloud is just another computer or another group of computers somewhere else, secure, fast, stable, that will store your information remotely. The advantages of using the cloud is that if your device was to crash or get lost or slip away, you can access it via the cloud. For example, my phone. If I was to lose this right now, my contacts, my pictures, my emails, documents, my important information would be gone to the world, so to say. If it wasn't for the cloud-based connection that modern smartphones offer you can then, if I purchase a new phone, I'll just log into my Google account, all of my contacts, all of my pictures, all my information, my documents, my emails are still going to be stored there, which is one advantage of upgrading your technology. And in that regard, if you're a person that you need security within your offerings in terms of keeping your stuff safe, you definitely want to get into the iPhone or Android phone. I can't tell you how many times someone has told me they've lost their phone and their life is gone. There are pictures from the baby, and the born, and the christening, and the wedding photos, and they just lost that and everything, and they can't get back. So it's just to show you that how another way technology could add some security, safety to your life in terms of day-to-day usage. Now, there are some misconceptions when it comes to what phone is the best. And I always tell people, there is no best phone. People always come up to me and ask, Steve, what is the best phone to get? What's the best phone in the market? That does not exist. There's no such thing as the best phone. Because what you may consider the best phone, I may consider too small, or too large, or maybe too slow. So there's different categories for different needs. And I'm stressing on phones just right now, because I'm going to move on to tablets just now. Because even, like I said, I'm a bit harsh with BlackBerries because the technology is very dated in the old models. You see, 10 is a big step up, and the Q10, and these are the BlackBerry 10 devices that are not being released. They finally reached to the point where the rest of the phones are. They call it with Apple, they call it with Google, they call it with Microsoft. Fortunately, these companies will be taking a step further within 2 months, and BlackBerry will let you everything again. So it's up to you guys to make your decisions there. But in terms of the best phone, it goes back to what I was saying earlier in terms of needs and usage scenarios. So getting a phone and then realizing, well, this has way too many things that I can't do with it. I always ask myself, what is it that I want to do? And what is it that I'm going to need to do? And I put a blend of my work and my personal needs in there, and then I get a decision. I also do my research. It's not very hard to go to Google and type in what is, or go to YouTube and type in a video. There are tons of reviewers out there. I do review videos. Get a phone, you do a review, do a walkthrough. And there are tons of videos out there that you can get a good sense of what this device could do for you. It's actually, you should take the time to research the phone you're going to buy, because they are become so expensive that it is a considerable investment. And they're not just phones anymore. You the average BlackBerry has 100 times the computing power of the computer that put man on the moon. So you think about it like that, it's a very powerful device nonetheless. And then you think that we're going on to quad-core phones. We are on quad-core phones right now. We're moving on to octa. That's the 8 processors in the phone. Most computers don't have 8 processors right now. So mobile computer power is catching up rapidly. Desktop computing, a laptop computing, quite quickly outpace it. So the things you build on your phones, on your tablets, are going to be the things that you find yourself doing in the office. And then we got these crazy people at Google. They have a division called Project X. Project X, what they do there, they work on what they will consider sci-fi and next-gen technologies. So we know how to do voice-activated search. You can ask your phone any question and it will speak back to you. Apple has a several offering called Siri, which causes it to do things like call someone, send a reminder, send an email, send a text. You have the usage of more and more advanced technologies that when I was working on the drug campaign this past, I had to do some very tedious work in terms of crunching numbers. My brain was so exhausted from all the late nights that I couldn't calculate. I just simply asked my phone, what is the percentage of this, or calculate that, and instantly it gave me a response. A nice, soothing female voice that wasn't too disruptive. I was able to get my work done, even though I was completely exhausted and I didn't want to make errors. I was able to ask my phone, and I was able to give me correct answers, and I was then able to get through my work. And it isn't limited to mathematical questions. You could ask things related to biology, to medicine, to any wide area of subjects. I didn't really dwell into the physics or chemistry or that doesn't require it. I haven't tested that, but I'm pretty sure that the Wolfram Alpha database does have, it's one of the largest databases of information in the world. So you would find this about anything you need to ask. And then you bring it closer to home. Even yesterday I was traveling and saw a lot of people, at least 10 people, that's a lot for me. Leaning up on the side of the road or a bus stop waiting, or in a cafe sitting down with a tablet in their hand, and either watching a movie or surfing the net, doing whatever it is they want to do out in the wild, as we call it in the technology world. So I've seen a lot of these devices in the wild. Before, you would hardly see a laptop. Now we're seeing technology being integrated and used more and more and more. And it's interesting because now the tablets themselves are, basically a tablet is just a really big phone that can't make calls. But realistically, when you look at the processing power that I just mentioned is behind the phone, you now have in your hand a portable computer that you could do any amount of tasks with, like a much larger screen, saying about squint. Yeah, so when it comes to things like prepare my invoices, I mostly use my tablet. Sometimes I use a phone, because sometimes it's more convenient to use a phone. But if I have my tablet, I prepare my invoices on here with a neat little app, if you guys want. It's called Invoice to Go. Not very expensive, but it expands into a full accounting system. It's free to use for up to like 5 concurrent invoices. When you purchase the app, it's like $5. But once you get it, you can do so much more. Like I said, it expands into the full accounting system. It keeps track of people that owe you money. Very important. It does everything you will get on your full-size accounting software. And if you use their desktop software, which is comparable to QuickBooks, you can now synchronize it to it. And you can generate your invoices like I mentioned, and then have them sync back to the office. You can send information via versa from the office to salespersons, from salespersons back to your office. So it gives you unique functionality that you probably would have to whip out a big laptop and I just email my invoices to my clients on demand, or my estimates if someone asks me for a quote on something. I'm not going to wait to get back to the office or get back home for somebody else to send them their estimate instantly. And I'm there fumbling with a printer. You know what printers is? Forgot. That's one piece of technology, like the supplies. 8 printers. Yeah, brand new HP printers and juking up and jamming and all. And then the spaces are small, you have a horse and hand in between it. I don't know, some people have small hands than me, but it is a trouble. So I do prefer the paperless route. I always tell people it takes so long for a tree to grow just to cut down and make a piece of paper, make an invoice. But it doesn't even any invoice and none of it, save a tree. And not that many anymore. These running over the streets, they're not the trees to swing from. You can save the trees. So email your invoices, even if you generate them from Microsoft Word template, or you do use the invoice to go, that's something that you should use. Another useful piece of software, because the technology doesn't just lie within the hardware. The software you use on your phones, your tablets, your PCs are all part of technology. Because the software runs the hardware. Having the fastest processor in the world, and Windows 95 on it, really is a nightmare. You really need to have the software up to date. So we have things, I love to use this, and if you are in an office environment where you have to do a lot of collaboration, Evernote, another free piece of software there with paid features, where it allows you to do documents on the go again. I could be here, I could be recording myself speaking, I could be taking notes in the audience, and it will synchronize across all my devices, my phone, my PC, the laptop, wherever I have Evernote installed, I can access my documents. And the added benefit of it now is if I'm in someone's office and again I have no access or the phone can't go, I could just access the documents through the web, through a secure account. I can share my information instantly. But also for the collaborative environment, multiple persons can work on a document at the same time, allowing for preparation of documents where multiple people may be involved. So it allows for some remote access and for continuity of your information across all your devices. And I think that that is a very useful tool, a very useful piece of software that I use across Android, iOS, whatever I use it. I use this piece of software. And we know social media is a growing trend. People speak of social media now because it's one of the bigger things out there. At my social media summit I did last year, I made sure that I gave people one useful tool. It can be very handy during the electoral process as well. If you are working in your business and you are responsible for social media, or you may just have, a lot of offices now don't necessarily have a dedicated social media person, but just tell the secretary, well, you handle the Facebook, or just check the Twitter every now and then. These tools allow you to track every word that's being said about your business, your service, your boss. You may have a task of keeping your boss's public image up. You may be handling PR. You may want to know what is being said about your business. TweetDeck is an interesting app. You find Twitter to be the place where people express themselves the most in terms of speaking. A lot is said on Twitter. I learned that, like I said, through the election campaign, where people would have mentioned, spoke of particular candidates or parties. So you're able, within TweetDeck, to add a search column. And this column is just a word. It's not a hashtag. It's not anything like that. So let's say, for example, give me a name of a random business owner, please. Anyone? No one works somewhere? NIS. So you want to see what's being said about NIS. You just type NIS in the search box, you hit enter, and a column is created. And anywhere in the world, anyone mentions the term NIS, you would see that in your feed. And you'll be able to track, well, obviously everybody will do this to you. But if there's an event going on, let's say there's something going on right now in NIS, and I'm going to talk about it. Let's say they're having an event, and the event is a popular event, people will be talking about it. At that point, using that search string, you'll be able to see everything everyone is saying, positive, negative, regardless of where they are in the world. And that is a very strong tool for keeping check on your public image, which is very important, regardless of if you are the business owner or if you are an employee looking out for the business. It is a very important tool. TweetDeck. And it's available, like I said, for your mobile devices, for your PC, for your Mac. I think they may have left out the BlackBerry users on this particular one. It is there. And I always come back to BlackBerry and people get so brand loyal that they get offended when they talk on the phone. Realistically, they want better for everyone. And what people don't know is that we are one of the only surviving markets for Ring, the no-call BlackBerry, in the world. They can't sell these phones nowhere else. Their market share is like 1% in the US. The Samsung Galaxy S3, a single phone, has more market share than their entire company. So you must understand that they are releasing these ancient devices upon our populace because they think we don't know any better or deserve any better. And I think we do, quite honestly, because sometimes phones come out and you see them in Barbados and they're released. So I really, I had to send out a BlackBerry doctor morning after me, from morning Barbados, the damage I did, I had to do some damage control there. But realistically, that is why a lot of software that you would get on the other platforms to enhance your usage of your device to get more out of it. It's not available on the BlackBerry platforms because developers realize the hardware is not strong enough to run the software. So being with a BlackBerry smartphone, you'll be left out. Unless you are a teenager and you're just interested in chatting, you will have issues. But there are added benefits to everything. BlackBerry is one of the few smartphones in the 90s and the early 2000s to offer the one-to-bit encryption. So a lot of corporations would have used it. Big entities that use the BlackBerry enterprise server would mandate BlackBerries or would give them out to their employees for use in the business. They have now updated the 256-bit encryption with the BlackBerry 10, which I do rate. I mean, not really the old ones, but the BlackBerry 10 is now a modern platform, and a lot of developers are developing for it, including myself. So it's time to upgrade. I'm pretty sure that line module is going to subsidize them soon. We're seeing the subsidization coming with the iPhones. You get on a plan, you get your phone, and you choose rare. Themselves doing it with the Android. So we can see that coming, and you can get yourself a nice Z10, or if you like the button, get a Q10. I mean, fire in the future. We live in, I always tell people we live in the future. The future is now. The technologies that we would have seen in the movies in the past are what's happening right now. Crazy people at Google, like I mentioned, the Google X Division Project X, they have a device called Google Glass. This is going to be debuting at the end of the year. They have a developer edition. And what this thing is to be quite blunt, it's a piece of wire and a piece of camera. But essentially, the hardware in it is the equivalent of your average smartphone. And there's a little display right above your eye that allows you to interact with your world in a way that you would not be able to normally. You can see weather information. You can get live directions. I'm not sure if this program is available. I may be a bit young to bring up this reference, but you know the old the cartoons the children watch is one called Dragon Ball Z and the alien